Hi, everyone. My name is Nkenge. I am an author and content curator, and I specifically write to, for, and about Black urban lesbian women. And today we are talking about films, the dynamics, and fuckboy dynamics within lesbian relationships. And just so we're clear, when we use the term films for the duration of this conversation, we are talking about women of feminine expression who identify as lesbian but present in feminine ways in traditional, sometimes maybe called stereotypical ways, but films. And a film with me today is Miss Karina. Everybody say what's up to Karina.
Hi, guys. Again, my name is Karina. I'm actually one of the supporting cast members on Femmes LA. I myself am a part of the LGBTQ community, obviously. And with that being said, you guys don't forget to check out the pilot episode that we have for Femmes LA on YouTube at Femmes LA Show. So we're going to get into this topic today. I'm going to let you have the floor, Nkenge.
So this conversation has been happening in my life and your life, I'm sure, like all of our dating life as films. And over time, I started to collect the stories, and I wrote this book called Dick and Donuts, a conjured collection of how studs ain't shit. It is one of the things I'm most proud of in this world. You can get it at www.nkangwrites.com, and it's on Amazon. But I wrote this book because I was looking for a book to read where I didn't have to switch the pronouns. We have the Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, those kind of books all the time where heterosexual folks get to debate what it is and what it ain't about their relationships and get to talk about what they love, what they hate, what they find frustrating. And we don't have that. And so I wanted to have the conversation, and I wanted to create art and give us text, give us something to hold on, give us something to debate, talk about, grow from, because I think art is what progresses the people, and that's what literacy is for me. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some things in the book, and then we're going to get into this conversation because I got some questions for you, Karina.
Okay, cool.
So I'll actually start when you read the book. So what tell me something that stuck out to you.
Honestly, you just explaining like the different type of phases that I guess you could say fuckboys go through, because I never thought of it that way. I feel like I haven't reached my graduated fuckboy, to where like they're ready to settle down and, just do right by women. But it was cool to see your perspective because I myself haven't experienced it, but it's nice to know that they are out there, because I'm kind of just going through experiencing them at their worst at the moment. So that stood out to me and it gave me something to look forward to.
I made sure I ended this book with some love and hope because when we out here and dating and you're finding fuckboy after fuckboy after fuckboy, you start to think like, is it me? Like, do I got a fuckboy adhesive on me? What is happening? Like, why do I keep attracting? Right. and so tell me about the last time you were like, you know what? I'm dealing with a fuckboy.
Girl, I was in a situationship. Like, okay, so basically I should have knew it was fuckboyism when it was presented to me like, I don't want to be in a relationship, but then we're turning around and doing everything as if we are in a relationship. We're spending all this time together. You're at my house all the time. Like, we're dating, we're going on dates, like we're being intimate, but you don't want to be with me. So it was kind of hard for me because, you can't help like your feelings getting involved in a situation. So when it got to the point where I realized there were other women, the lying, oh, I'm here, but you don't want to show it. You know what I mean? It let me know that I was dealing with a fuckboy who couldn't even own up to it. Like, I would try to confront her about what it is that I was feeling or why I thought she was being this way, and this way. And all she could say was, oh, I don't know. I don't care. I told you what it was from the jump.
Listen.
But you led me to believe otherwise. Like, to me, all I'm going to say is actions speak louder than words. And the words and actions just didn't match up. So
whenever we discuss fuckboys, not just you and I, but films in general, when we talk about fuckboys, it's always like the this, the that, the this, right? And we are like conditioned, like triathlon athletes to deal with this. where do we get that conditioning from? Like what helps us or teaches us to accept this, to tolerate this fuckboyism?
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. Maybe for me at the time it was the fear. I know for my personal self, I have a fear of feeling like I'm not going to find anybody better, or this person, like we had so many good times, like maybe I should just try to stick it out, or I love this person, because that's the big thing. Like, so for me, I can say those are all things that possibly condition me to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna stay and put up with this because I should.
I think film invisibility add to that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you and I go to the grocery store, go to the mall, wherever, well, pre-COVID, when we went places in the world,
Right.
like when we're by ourselves, we don't look gay, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so lesbians are hitting on us and men are. And so we're just in this world where like having a masculine partner almost like that is when people kind of look double look and like, oh, okay, we understand what's going on here.
Right.
So part of our identity gets tied up in our relationships because that's the only time we're readily assumed to be lesbians is when we have a partner. And I think we get like conditioned to tolerate it because we know this is not the last stud in the world. We know it's not the last lesbian in the world, but like part of us is like, it's just me though. Like if I let you go, where do I find somebody else? And I know we probably picked,
Mm-hmm.
like the community picked that up back in the day. And even though we have social media now and all of that, that's still this feeling of like, I can't just go to the grocery store and see a masculine presenting woman as I could if I dated men, right? So
Right.
that lack keeps you like, maybe I ought to work this out a little bit.
No, I totally hear you too. Like it almost validates who you are in a sense. And it's true because like even when you are single and you're trying to mingle, you know, like let me go out and have some fun. But how are other women going to know that you're into women if I present myself this way? There's just no way for them to know. So it kind of makes you like discouraged almost. Like, how do I know that these other women in here are into women if we're not at a gay club or whatever the
Right.
case may be? So it is a sense of security. Like when you have a partner, like at least people know what it is, you know?
How do studs benefit from being fuckboys? Like what is the point? Why are they doing this?
I think they just get to have their cake and eat it too. They probably feel like, oh, well, I could do this with this woman. I don't have to be tied down. I got her at home. She don't even know that I got this other shorty over here. I'm gonna just keep it that way because she does this for me, but she does this, this, and this for me. I don't understand. I guess I see where they benefit maybe for whatever it is that they're getting out of the situation. But in the long run, I don't, because like when you have a good person, why would you sit there and fuck them over just to have some fun or to get something that you may not have communicated that you're not getting from your partner? I think women, and what kills me is that studs are still women, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
studs like to say that they don't think like women, like they think like niggas, which is why they don't understand why it's a problem sometime, or why some of the shit that they do that's fuckboyish is a problem, because they're literally just not in tune, I don't know, with themselves or their femininity. And it's frustrating because it's like at the end of the day, you're not a nigga. So you should understand why this is a problem at the very least.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? They get real in tune when that shit gets flipped though. Okay.
Oh, they sure do.
They get real in the know, real quick, okay? So it's
Tapping into
crazy.
emotions I ain't never seen.
Right. Like, oh, you be crying?
You cry?
I
Since
never knew.
when?
Because you didn't cry when I caught you 10 times. You didn't cry the last time I went through your phone and lost 15 pounds, right? You didn't cry then. But now you crying because I hearted somebody's picture. That's crazy to me. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's like selective of when I'm going to be in tune with my emotions. When I'm hurting you, as a stud, I'm beyond empathy. When I'm hurt, how dare you? Right? How dare
Mm-hmm.
you? My favorite my stud song is Jay-Z's song Cry. That is
Uh-huh.
my favorite. Like if I had to describe studs emotionally to anybody else, when he says that, what does he say? Wait, how did I? It's your that's your fault, girl. How was I supposed to know that you were playing sick of me? How many times have you forgiven me? Like, oh, so because I forgave you last time, and the 10 times, and that we let them run over our boundaries so many times,
Mm-hmm.
and they stop believing we have any, and then we get fed up, and like we be like, all right, do it again, I'm gonna go. Do it again, I'm gonna go. And so we don't go into like the 132nd time. And how somebody supposed to know you was serious?
You should have heard the tone of my voice this time. It was a little bit more high pitch. Okay.
Right. Because they be so shocked. You ever left a fuckboy and they be like confused? Like,
Girl, yes, 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 I have. And let me just touch on that because it was my first one. And it just, to this day, it still blows my mind on the audacity of her. Because, girl, when I was finally fed the fuck up and I left because she was cheating on me, she was putting her hands on me. Like, I don't understand why she was surprised. Like, she was blowing my phone up, like, I can't believe you left and blah, 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 blah. Mind you, after I did what I did and was begging her to stay with me. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So I was just like, it's just funny that she really wants to sit here and act like she doesn't understand that I really had to go at this point.
Yes. Let's touch on that. Let's touch on the fuckboy flip, right? Like, I can't tell you how many times I've caught them in some mess. And by the end of the conversation, I'm apologizing. I'm so sorry I made you cheat on me.
Girl.
What was I thinking?
What was I not doing? How can I fix it? Because, girl, let me tell you, I've been that girl. The how can I fix it? Never again, though. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't me. It was entirely you. But I've been there, though. And it's unfortunate because I know there's a lot of women out there who do that, who may have men or women or whatever it is that you choose to date. And they have partners and they're out there cheating on them or doing them wrong. And they feel like, well, what can I do to fix it? Like, what's wrong with me? When you shouldn't have to feel like that.
I think fuckboys are excellent at making you feel, though, that if you just live up to the standard, then I won't harm you. I won't emotionally harm you in any way, right? And so it keeps you like, okay, well, let me make sure I look the part. Let me make sure I cook, clean, do all of this stuff, right? And then, which is, I think, a lot of times what tears us down, like from films being friends, is that you do all of this stuff and then they go cheat with a woman who doesn't do it. And so now you're mad at her and you're dissing her like, that bitch don't cook. She don't do this like me and do this like me. And it's like, she's not actually the problem, though. Like, you thought that if you got a really good report card with this nigga, that
yeah, because that's what it is.
We be trying to get them aces on a report card, and it's like, for what? For what?
It still don't even matter to them. We could have A+ in every section that needed, and they still gonna go over there to the next class and pick up a new elective.
It's the electives
like,
for me.
Like it's the electives. They got options, girl.
Yeah,
options, and I just be like, but you were doing so good in your core classes, like.
Like, did you really just pick up culinary for fun? Like,
for fun? Okay, when you have all of this at home.
What is the hardest part about leaving or getting away from a fuckboy?
For me, it's detachment. Because the thing is, you can know that you deserve better. You could understand it, know it, perceive it in however way. But it's like when you're attached to somebody and when you have real feelings for them, sometimes even all of that, like, it doesn't matter in the sense. So if you're like a person like me, where it's really hard to leave a situation, or you just become attached for whatever reason or the case may be, it's harder to like want to leave. And then when you do leave, to like stand your ground. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the hardest part, because fuckboys have a really, really, really good way of making you feel like they're going to change, or making you feel like, oh, all you have to do is come back and it's going to be better. And you know, you love me. Like, we can get through this. We can get through everything. No, we can't. We cannot get through all of the fuckboy shit that you put me through. And it's okay. I just have to learn to be strong enough to like stand on my own and be okay with that. So I think that's probably the most important thing to remember.
Yeah, it's definitely going back. I saw a post yesterday that made me throw my phone. This stud posted one thing about being a toxic stud. We know how to get our bitch back. And I was like, I hate you
Don't
so
they?
much. Like,
Don't
because it's
they?
so true. That's why I was angry. I was angry because it was true, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they
Sometimes
got
all I
some
gotta do
kind
is
of
say the
truth
right
there.
words. All you gotta do is say
That's
the right
it.
words sometimes.
And they
Oh, you
know
gonna
how
pull
to
up?
play it. They know how
Yeah.
to play. They know whether is this an apology moment, or is this a flip it and gaslight you moment? Is this a gift moment? Is this a play on your insecurity moment? Like, which one is it? But bitch, you coming back. That's what you gotta know. So
Yeah. I hate you for that because that's facts. And it's so frustrating. It's frustrating because it's true. Okay. Because
it
I've been
hurts.
there, done that. So,
How
but
do you
yeah.
do you so I often like my hashtag that I started and when I wrote in my book and everything is studs ain't shit, studs ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
And what I often get their rebuttal from that is just the studs you're dating. And I'm really glad we're having this conversation. I'm in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
you're in LA, and we're having this conversation. And I love the power of the internet and us being able to talk to films all over the world. It's like, guess what? Her and I not dating the same niggas, but we got the same
No.
story. So let's
Mm-hmm.
debunk this. This is not, and we're not the same woman, and we still got the same story. So we can do away with this whole it's just the niggas you dating. However, when you hear a blanket statement like all studs are fuckboys or studs ain't shit, how do you feel about that? Do you think we should be casting this kind of absolute statement? Is that harmful?
Um, I can't really say no to that. I don't think it's harmful because to me, it's like the same thing I say niggas ain't shit. Like heterosexual couples will be out here saying niggas ain't shit all day when that's not necessarily true about all niggas, but we know what they mean. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think for us, when we say studs ain't shit, I think it's not really too harmful because people understand generally what they mean by that. Like you're going to come across majority of the time a stud who ain't shit. There's definitely some who are out there who are shit, who are the shit, who are the ones that you want to be with. We're not talking about y'all. So if
Right.
you know that that's you're not included in this studs ain't shit, don't be offended.
Right.
Because nine
And
times out of 10, we know. We know.
right. Because first of all, that's how we keep our head in the game. If we believed it was
Mhm.
100%, honey, we couldn't. Can we keep going? Okay, we need the strength, the faith. Um, so I'm gonna ask the question that people ask me that irritates me. So let me just apologize in advance.
Okay.
But if studs get on your nerves so much and they're fuckboys and they ain't shit, blah blah blah, why don't you date films?
Well, just because they ain't shit doesn't mean that I can't find somebody who is. It's just a personal preference. Like femmes are beautiful. I love all women, but I prefer the masculinity of a stud. Like I like women who are in tune with their feminine side, but can also present masculinity and be solid in that. Like it's just what I like. So it is unfortunate that a lot of them cannot be shit, but that doesn't mean that I'm finna just go change up what I like to go be with a feminine woman when that probably wouldn't make me happy. That's like telling a straight person, like, well, these niggas ain't shit. Why you still dating niggas? Well, because they're not just gonna change up their sexuality because niggas ain't shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that you said that because I feel like we have that people it's such a homophobic statement
mhm.
to we don't tell straight women that. We're not like, oh well, date women now. It's like, no, nigga, I'm not complete. My attraction is what it is. Like, and that's such a problem. I think a lot of folks don't take feminine lesbians seriously as lesbians anyway. It's like we have
No,
to come out 10 million times a week
improve
and
ourselves.
improve it. No, like literally, I had a dude tell me once, like in a public situation, like prove it. I'm like, what do you want me to do right now in this moment? Like, what?
And why do
But
I have to prove it to you? Why don't you just believe the fact that I'm telling you?
I'm telling you, because even that's my thing. I'm like, you don't have to prove anything. Like, you get to live and thrive off the assumption of who you are. I have to
Mhm.
prove who I am. And we never expect anybody else. The freedom to complain about our dating partners should not be reserved for straight couples. I should be able to say
Girl.
studs ain't shit, and I'm still gonna date them, and you know what it is. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that all studs go through a fuckboy stage, or some are fuckboys and some are not?
Personally, I think they all go through the stage at some point in their life or another, just because like you have to realize that a lot of studs have gone through the whole like not really being accepted or just having to come into themselves. Mm-hmm. So it was probably a lot for them to really just become the person that they are. So I'm pretty sure that they've all been in a situation where they felt like when they were comfortable with who they were, they wanted to fuck with who they wanted to fuck with, or just get all the fuckboyism out. Like I truly feel like everybody's gone through the stage.
Yeah, some longer than others, baby. Some get real comfortable.
Yeah, some do. Some need to grow up a little bit, but that's okay because when they do get there, that's what matters. At the end of the day, as long as they get there, because right now it's some of us hitting 30 and they still fuck boys. So this, yeah.
And some of them had their 30th birthday years ago, and they still on tip. So, but okay,
we gonna need y'all to get it. We gonna need y'all to get it together because it's time for y'all to come on now and settle down, do right by your women because she doing right by you.
And the fuck boy, I need you to grow up. Get it together.
Okay, because no, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's not a great look at all. So this is my favorite film question. I love asking feminists, and I've never gotten a response that I could do anything with. So here we go.
Let's see what I can give you.
What do you do in that 5-minute time frame when your partner is putting on her strap? What are you doing in that moment? How do you busy yourself?
This is funny. Okay. So, I mean, because I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that one. But so, personally, I'm just kind of sitting there like admiring it. But what I will say though, I've come across a lot of women. Well, let me not say a lot, but the women that I have been with.
Because studs will take it and run with it. So
they will. Yeah. They sure will. But the women that I've been with, not all of them were comfortable doing that in front of me. But the one that I have experienced, I was just kind of sitting there looking like, okay, that's what we finna do. That's what we doing. All right then. Like, cause it's just, to me, like, there's not a problem with it. Like, I'm not embarrassed by it, but some women are embarrassed by it, or just feel like, well, I don't want to sit here and put this on in front of you and then take it off. I don't care, really. So.
Yeah, maybe we should actually do a survey with studs about that, because like there is that dynamic. I've experienced both dynamics of it is what it is. I'm about to step into this right here with the audience, and then I've had the like where did this come from? It's magic. Like
like you went to the bathroom, came back, and boom, it was there, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
You don't see it come on or go off, but I always feel like that is the most awkward measurement of time. And I wonder how long it actually takes. In my brain, it feels like 50 minutes, but like, cause you're just kind of there, like, and if you ain't supposed to be there, then it gets real weird in your head for a minute. Like,
oh yeah, that's a whole nother story. Right there. It's just kind of like, ooh, well, it gives you time to think, should we be doing this right now?
Should we be doing this? And then you hear the click and you like, you know what, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. Just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes that turns into 50 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So do you think that you have some responsibility if you love someone, if you love a fuckboy, that you have some responsibility to help them grow out of the fuckboy stage?
I don't want to say yes, but that's just ultimately like what ends up happening. Like, especially when you fall in like with them, and you just want to see them do better. Because anybody that you ultimately end up with, all you really want to do is see them like do better for themselves. So if you're dealing with a fuckboy and you know that they're doing this and that, like, of course you want to help them grow out of that. But what sucks is that we start feeling like, well, I can make them grow out of that. And if it doesn't happen, then you become disappointed and in your feels. And it's just like and then you go back to the all fuckboy niggas ain't shit.
Okay. I love that. I love the difference between like I want you to grow out of it and I can make you grow out of it. Because desire for you to grow out of it, my want, that's wonderful. But I can make you. Now I've made it my responsibility. And yet nobody's maturity is my responsibility.
Because all you're going to end up doing is disappointing yourself, especially if that person's not even really ready. Just because you may want that for them doesn't mean that that's what they want for themselves.
How does fuckboyism show up in feminine women?
I think it's just like the little trifling things that we can do, the sneakiness. Feminine women tend to get away. Well, I just gotta be real, because I've dealt with the femme before, not like on a super personal like relationship level, but I just know how they can be, and feminine women can get away with a lot more. I guess like fuckboy shit. Like we could kiss our friends, knowing damn well that like you could really like your friend, but you could tell your partner, oh, this is just my best friend, my homegirl. We was drunk one day doing this, but really just be like intimate with your friend and get away with it. That's like fuckboy shit. We can do a lot of things because we are feminine women. We can get attention from both sides. And sometimes we don't always turn away that attention. And that's so our partner can be like, fuck boy shit,
So we talked a little bit before about cheating, feminine presenting women versus masculine presenting women cheating. And so I always say feminine women cheat more, but masculine women get caught more. And I feel like, I don't know if it's like a courteous that we clean up our shit more. I always think about like having a pet cat versus a pet dog. And like you never, until you had toward it, you never see your cat shit, right? But you gotta see your dog shit, right? Yeah. And so almost this concept of like, so anyway, would you agree with my sentiment that we do it more but better and they do it less but sloppier?
I want to I'm on the fence about it because I don't want to necessarily say more, although I do, because studs really be cheating. Studs will really be out here cheating on you. So I don't know if I could say more. I want to say maybe it's about the same, but we're definitely better at doing it for sure. Yeah. Studs become sloppy. They don't care. I think what it is like not even that they sloppy. It's just some of them genuinely don't care. To just even like women, we're so we do everything with emotion. So we're like, if we're going to cheat, like I got to be real, like careful about this because I'm invested in this person, but I'm invested in this person. So let me make sure I got all my tracks covered. Whereas the stud is just like, I'm not tripping. She going to see what she going to see and she going to stay if she going to stay. So,
Yeah. What I'm getting from what you're saying is like, we cheat heavier though. Like when we do it, we not fucking around, like not to say never, but like generally speaking, like we get emotionally invested. So let's just be doing what they be doing. Self-serving. Right. Like
yeah. I agree though. I agree personally, but I mean, then again, I could be wrong, but I just know like from my own personal experience back from when I was cheating, because we've all been there. It was for emotional purposes. It's not necessarily for like sexual purposes, whereas I can say studs, normally they just want to hit, women, we're looking for something that we're lacking. So it's just like, if I'm going to step it on my partner, I'm obviously not getting something most likely emotionally in that relationship that this other woman is sitting here providing to me. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm getting this from her. Now I'm all emotionally invested in trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life because I'm stuck, I think that's how femmes cheat.
Is the side nigga automatically a fuckboy?
Personally, yeah. They could be a good fuck, and I can't even say a good fuck boy because if you're a side nigga, you're a side nigga. Like it's a nice one because it's like if they really fuck with you and they really want to be with you and you guys end up together and they really do right by you, great. But they're a fuck boy for knowing that you're in a relationship and still trying to like be with you, because not only does it say a lot about you, like, and your morals, like you would probably do this shit again if it didn't work out with me and you, so it just kind of makes you like look at them too, like, yeah, you're here, but would you do this to me if we were together? Yeah. So
I see a lot of distrust between studs, like that whole like they're not like sometimes they have trouble building friendships between each other, or
Mm-hmm.
often when their girlfriends have stud friends, masculine presenting friends, you see it pop out like I don't trust this nigga, and it's like why? Because I don't trust this nigga, right? And I wonder, or I'm asking, is the distrust of other stud to stud distrust, is that rooted in their own inner fuckboy?
Oh yeah, I think it's for sure projection. Like, because there's no other reason why you can sit here and tell me if you don't even know my friend or whatever the case may be, but just because they're another stud, well, I don't like that nigga, you need to watch that nigga. You're just projecting because you'd probably do the same thing. Like you're basically telling me like if you were my friend, you couldn't be my friend because of maybe just the way I look and I'm too fine to be your friend, you would just have to fuck. So now you're thinking that this stud friend of mine is going to think the same way when that's not necessarily fair to assume. Because I
Yeah.
genuinely have friends that are studs that are just my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be anything more than that. You know what I mean? So
studs always understand that on the flip side. They're always like, that's my sister, like with their femme friends. But in the reverse, it's always like, no, that nigga wanna fuck you. Like, she works
that's
there.
because,
She was giving me my
girl,
change. Calm
half the
down.
time they fem sisters they didn't been feminine with. Okay.
Listen. Okay. Whole
So it's
collection.
just like, can we talk about that? Because people, the thing is, I don't see anything wrong with being friends with people that you may have like been with before, but I think that it's something that should be like discussed. Like if you have a partner, in order so your partner to know, you know?
Yeah, I disagree. Your partner should
Mm-hmm.
absolutely know. I disagree because I feel like our vaginas have memories and they're not logical. They're not logical little creatures. And your vagina's memory doesn't respect the relationship dynamic shift.
Oh
And
my God. That is so funny because I feel you. I for sure feel you, but I didn't think of it that way.
so I'm like, no, like your brain knows that you don't fuck with her no more. But
Mm-hmm.
does your body, does her body? No. Like, no. That's why we gonna cut these cords. And you ain't gotta be, Mortal Kombat enemies and shit, but you just,
Right.
no. Your vagina remembers differently. That's all. Say about
She's
that.
like, and that's what you're gonna lead with when it
And that's,
happens. So
mhm. And that is my distrust in fuckboys. So what scars would you say you picked up along the way dealing with fuckboys?
just really believing like what they have to say. Like to me, you have to really show me, like really show me how you feel or what you're trying to get across to me because words only mean so much. And it just sucks because I'm just not trusting of people and what they say. And sometimes that can be a bad thing because a lot of people like their word is bond. And unless, given a reason otherwise, like you should trust people or at least try to, but I just don't because I feel like I've been through so much. I've been lied to, like I didn't been cheated on, like I didn't been emotionally and physically and spiritually. It feels like abuse. Like that's what I've picked up from them. And it's unfortunate, but it's something that I am working on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Let's touch on the physical abuse thing. I think that we
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about that enough within our community. I know I had the first time I was in a relationship where there was extreme physical abuse. It was it was really bad, and when I finally was speaking out about it, multiple people's response was like, "That's just another girl." And there's no acknowledgement of the power dynamics within a relationship. There's no
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement of that, of it's even that it is still a romantic relationship. And it's not like I'm fighting some rando chick in the club. Like I know her. I know her intimately. Like this is
Right.
crazy. And so when you or if you talked about your intimate partner violence that you experienced in relationships, um, were you met with the same sentiment or do you feel like you were received with more empathy?
No, I think I received a little bit more empathy from my group of friends. I actually have only ever really shared it with them outside of this. It didn't happen often, but it did happen a couple of times to where like I had to bring it to their attention, and actually it happened one time in front of one of my best friends. So that was kind of crazy. But luckily I didn't get like that response. Well, you could just fight her back or whatever the case may be, or it's just another girl, because people will say that to you. And it's just like, yeah, but that's not the point. Like you said, like, I know her, like, this is my partner. Like, this is somebody that I say that I love and I care about. So it's not that easy for me to just be like, well, it's just another girl, or to want to return and put my hands on her and make the situation worse, or whatever the case may be. So, because personally, I don't believe in that. Like, luckily, I haven't had to experience another abusive relationship in that sense, but I'm not going to put my hands on you. Like, if it ever comes to that point, then we just don't have to be together, because I don't think that there's any reason why any partner of mine should physically raise their hand to abuse me or to hurt me or bring harm to me in any way. Then it's just, we could dead it.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to make sure we acknowledge that it's important to not keep this kind of secret. It's important to tell your friends. You will need help exiting situations like this. The people that usually get to a point, people that get to a point where they want to act with physical violence are not people you can sit down with and say, I think we need to break this off and I'm going to leave. So you want to make sure you're planning accordingly for who you're dealing with, and that you have support. And I wanted to make sure we covered that. But also to then separate, because I use the term fuckboy lightly a lot. And there's like fuckboys, and then there are abusive motherfuckers who also do fuckboy shit. Right. And I want to separate the two, because somebody can be a fuckboy and I would say most fuckboys I know are not physically abusive. Right. And so I just want to draw attention to that. But what are some of their tactics though? Like when are you like, even if you're not dating this person, because we usually, like, I have stud friends who, and I think I really get it there, right? Because they just be telling me they did because they're not hitting on me. So, like, sometimes they call me and they tell me what they've done to women. I'm just like, nigga, what is wrong with you? So, what are some indicators of when do you know your friend or your partner is a fuckboy?
Just when they start doing little things like, to be, I don't know, I guess sneaky, like phones down, or you just not telling me like where you are if I'm asking you, or you asking me or returning a question with a question. That's normally an indicator like you don't want to answer the question that I have. So you're trying to throw me off. Social media is a big thing nowadays because people put everything on the internet. So if you posting and you're normally tweeting and doing all this, but one day, all of a sudden you like go ghost or you're MIA, I'm just like, you doing something you're not supposed to be doing, So little things like that. I couldn't even really tell you too much else because luckily I haven't dealt with a fuckboy in over like 3 years. So I don't even know what else that they be doing nowadays in 2021. But what else have you experienced?
Let me just tell you, they mutate. They do mutate. So when you don't deal with one,
do they? Because I'm like, girl,
well, you
I wouldn't even know. This is probably the slick and trifling stuff.
Yeah. So of course I've experienced the whole that's just my friend, the emotional support ex-girlfriends.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That the whole like, I don't talk to her anymore, but her mom was always nice to me. So I'm gonna go visit her mom. No. The co-parenting of animals. That stupid shit. I cannot.
Oh my God.
At the beginning, the whole like, they say like, we're not together, or I'm gonna make you my girl one day type comments. One day. Looked on the calendar. I ain't seen it. But they say things like that and they want to monopolize your time and hang out and do all of this stuff. And like, it's this unspoken or unwritten rule that you can't do this, right? You can't hang out with nobody else. You can't be going on dates or nothing like that. But whatever they do, is okay. And usually when I find myself in a gaslighting situation where I'm like, when I don't trust my own intuition, I know I'm dealing with a fuckboy. And not immediately, right? Because they slick.
Mm-hmm.
Like they real slick.
Yeah.
They're charming. They're slick and charming, right? And because if they were like sloppy and abrasive and shit, then they wouldn't get away with any of it. But yeah, so usually when I find myself continually questioning whether or not I make sense to myself. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but wait a minute, but I know that's not right. And I know that I couldn't do this to you. Even though you may say, do whatever you want. It's just that understanding that I
Right.
better chill.
Because if I did this, it would be a big problem.
Yeah. That's when I know. Because I think if somebody I think it was of a masculine woman and a feminine woman are dating and the people are really like, I don't want to be in a relationship right now. I'm just dating. And there's an understanding that you can expect that from me also. But when they want to
Mm-hmm.
keep you captive while spreading their wings, fuck boy shit completely, totally. And I think that the lack of lying, because I also feel like they're crafty in the sense of like they may not lie, but they do that whole answering a question with a question, right?
Yeah.
Or starting an argument so then they have to leave, bringing up some shit I did that had nothing to do with what the fuck we're talking about right now. I was like,
With
where were you?
anything.
I'm like, where were you last night? And they're like, what the fuck is up with that picture on Instagram? Like, I'm sorry, from 52 weeks ago? Is
Thank you.
that
And you're asking me about a nigga who commented on it 52 weeks ago? Okay.
from a page that sells herbal tea? Like, stop playing with me right now.
And are you still not going to answer my question though? Like that's what kills me.
And are you
They
still
really be
not going
trying
to
to get
answer my
around it.
question? Yeah. So that when you're left without these answers, and then you feel like you're on a loop, right? I think there's this fuckboy loop of like, I'm really feeling great about myself, feeling great about the situation. I know we're gonna be together, and like, no, like we're not together right now, but like I'm doing all this together shit. Like, why am I grocery shopping for you? You just told me I wasn't your girl.
Right.
Conveniently dropping, I'm not your girl. Like, it's a mess. And the problem is getting out of the loop because the loop becomes your life. Like, this is just what
Mm-hmm.
we do and how we do. And then how do you get off that loop? And I don't think they don't like to let go of anybody, which is why they collect their
No, they
energy.
don't. Mm-hmm.
And when they see you pulling away, they give you, like, if you've been begging, give me some affection, or I want to go out. You never take me out on dates, whatever. And then they do. Now you're like, oh my gosh, she's changing. She could possibly be this dream you created in your head. And so you keep yourself on a loop too. You definitely keep yourself on the cycle too.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that's actually like what was happening to me in my situationship that I was telling you about. It was really like maybe a year and a couple months long, and it sucked because like halfway through it, I was trying. Well, let me not say halfway, but like towards the end of the year, that's what I was trying to do, get myself out the loop because it just kept being the same thing. Like we're spending all this time together. You're telling me one thing that you don't want to be in a relationship, but then we're doing X, Y, and Z, and then you go MIA for like a month or 3 weeks or whatever, or just acting different for like a period of time. But when I really try to take myself out the situation, now you want to hit me with, well, what if I made you my girlfriend right now? Or what if we did this? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Cause you see me going over here and doing me and now even talking to somebody else like who appreciates me and understands like what I'm worth. You want to hit me with the, oh, let me do this and I'm a change. And no, it's too late for that.
They
It's too
hate to
late.
see it. They hate to see you with somebody. Like, they hate to see you. It's like,
Yes.
you didn't even come over for 3 weeks. What the fuck is happening right now? So, what is a major red flag you ignored that you should not have ignored?
Oh my God. Well, in both situations, everybody else telling me I don't like to listen. So,
Okay.
or I don't listen. It's not that I don't like to listen, but just like having to find out things on my own. So when I was stubborn and had to experience these people, little things like stories not adding up. Like you telling me one thing, but I actually know what, like if I'm asking you a question 9 times out of 10, I know the answer. So I'd be the type to ask the question, knowing the answer. They would lie. And then I go home and try to find every situation or scenario in my head about how maybe what they said is true. And about what I know, maybe that's not true. Or maybe that didn't happen. Little things like that were red flags for me that I
Yeah,
should have ignored and I didn't. So
absolutely. My red flag is when I find myself on Facebook hunting down women.
it's over.
Half of my blocks ain't got shit to do with me. Half of
That's
my
hella
blocks,
funny. Like, let me block her ass because I don't need her. Nope. That's
yeah,
so
like
funny.
I don't even know. Like it's so for me, when you got me on a manhunt, who is she? Where
Mhm.
y'all know each other from, and I'm piecing this together. And I don't. It's so much. I could be googling another language. It's so much other things I could be doing with my time at this point. So for me, that is my red flag. That is when I am done. If you choose to stay with someone who you know is a fuckboy, how do you forgive and stay in that?
That's hard because like you honestly just have to forgive them. Like you can try to forget everything that you've been through, but that's hard advice for me to give you because who's to say that they're really going to like change or stay? So you might be forgiving them and forgiving them and forgiving them and really just selling yourself short. So I think it's something that you have to like know that you want for yourself or just know that your person is like ready to change or not in order to know if they deserve to be forgiven. You feel me? Because some motherfuckers don't deserve it. They really don't. But they'll play a good game like they do.
For sure, for sure. I think that dating fuckboys has allowed me to create boundaries and to learn how
Mhm.
to stick to them. What is a boundary that you've created through your experience of dating fuckboys that you absolutely won't let get ignored?
Um, Communication, like real communication. Like ain't no you being short or you're not answering my questions if I'm asking. Like we need to be able to communicate effectively, and there's no if, ands, or buts about that. Because if you can't do that with me, then I'm not going to be able to expect like much else out of you. Like if you can't have a simple conversation and be able to express yourself or hear me out and hear me to hear me and have the conversation without it turning into an argument or you sitting there and not being able to express yourself, then it's not going to work. That's just the boundary that you got to be able to get past
I
or
like,
respect, I should say.
yeah. Okay. My last fuckboy question. What is your go-to fuckboy song? What do you bang in your car when you over this again for the 15th time? When you for real done this
Ah,
time?
oh my gosh. Wow, that's a hard one. My fuckboy song. I don't even know at this moment. I couldn't even tell you. I'm trying to think. What do I be listening to? Girl, I couldn't even tell you. I don't have a song at the top of my head right now.
I think a classic is Fuckboy by Trina. We gotta
Okay.
I'll bang
Okay.
that one sometime. But yeah, I think every film watching this, Abba's Ain't Shit playlist. You
I'm gonna
have
need
to
that. I'm
get
gonna need
you.
that.
I'm gonna share it with you. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. And I think that was part of why I wrote this book. So, um, thank you so much for the conversation tonight, Karina. You can learn more about my work on my site in Kangay Writes. Yes, to get donuts in
Yes.
kangaywrites.com. Please get the book. I love conversing about it. Email me, talk to me, hit me up online. My IG is in Kangay Writes. My Facebook is in Kangay Jazz Browner. And you can see more of my work on my site. Karina, how can folks get in contact with you and where can we see more of you?
Yes, yes. So you guys can actually follow me on Instagram as well. My IG is KN. It looks like Cayenne, but it's KAAYANNE. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at Amore K. And don't forget to check us out on Femmes LA on YouTube as well. You guys are going to be seeing me in upcoming episodes. So that's exciting. But don't forget to check out Nking's book as well, y'all, for real. Dick and donuts, ladies. We need this. for the culture, okay? Because this
I
book
can't wait
right
to see
here,
you in
yes.
action. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in action on Films LA. I love it. I'm so excited to see it. We just don't get this kind of visuals. We don't get to see films like outside of our
Mhm.
homegirls and our friends. So I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for that. And I can't wait to see more of you. I can't wait to see the different hair
Thank
colors, the
you,
different moves, the
girl.
nails changing up. I'm ready
Because you
for it
know it's
all.
coming. Because you know it's coming. See, y'all just be ready, okay? But thank you so much for the conversation today as well. It was great. It's very insightful actually to hear like your points of view too, because now I'm thinking a little differently. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.